In this video, I'll discuss working with an array of items. Think about a shopping cart. Typically, when you go to the grocery store and grab a cart, you're not grabbing it because you plan on buying one item or a bunch of one type of item. You want some food items, some household items, some milk, some soda pop, and when you're waiting at checkout, you want to add some gum and your favorite magazine. The same analogy is true with computerized shopping carts. How would your code look if there were multiple items in the shopping cart? We could set things up as in lines 1 to 4, have a separate description for each item. That may work fine if you have a small number of items, but what if you're getting lots and lots of different items? It's not practical and it's not efficient to declare each item as a separate variable. It makes your code very long, very unwieldy, and very difficult to understand. But there's a better way, and we call them arrays. Think of an array as a container that holds a set of values, whether strings or numbers of the same type. Each item in an array is referred to as an element, and each element is accessed using a numeric index. We use this index to set or get a value from a specific element. The index value always begins with 0, not 1, so in a 4-element array, the index values will be 0, 1, 2, and 3. An array is a container object that holds a fixed number of values of a single type. They're always the same type. You can't mix types in an array, so an int array can contain only integer numbers, and a string array can only contain strings. The length of an array is established when the array is created. After creation, the length of the array can't be changed. As shown in this example, index numbering begins with 0. For example, the 8th element is accessed at index 7. The length of an array is using dot notation to access the length field. Assuming that the array in the diagram is called ages, you can determine how many elements are in the array by using the notation ages.length, and it would return a value of 8 because that's the length of the array. Here's the syntax for declaring an array and initializing its values, assuming that you know when you create the array what the values will be. Just as with variables, you don't have to assign values to an array when you create it. Syntax is the type of data that will be used following by opening and closing brackets. These inform the compiler that you're declaring an array. Then there's the array identifier, which is the variable name that you use for your array. And if you know the values you'll be assigning, you can do that using the equal sign followed by a comma-separated list of values enclosed in braces. Note that the square brackets can be placed after the array identifier instead of the type, but whatever method you choose, you should always be consistent with your syntax. In this example, the array of type int is called ages, and it's been instantiated with a size of 3, so 3 index values between 0 and 2. The creation of the array uses the new keyword. On lines 2 through 4, the elements of the ages array are initialized. And on line 6, the string array called names is instantiated with the size of 3, and its elements are initialized on lines 7 through 9. Elements of an array are accessed by referencing the index of that element. For example, to get the value from the first element of the array called ages, you use ages 0 inside brackets. To get the value from the second element of the ages array, use ages 1 inside brackets. You can also use the value of an array element directly in an expression by using the same syntax. In the third example, ages 0 is being referenced directly from the systemout println command. The second examples show a string array and how to set the values. The first line instantiates the array with 3 strings, Mary, Bob, and Carlos. But the following 2 lines will change Mary to Gary and Bob to Rob by using the equal sign. So it works the same way as with string variables. You can change array elements at any time using this method.